Hi, this is Ayo Olaseinde here, and today I want to welcome you back to our podcast, The Truth About Success, where our goal is to unveil what people have done to achieve success and give you the real truths from successful entrepreneurs on exactly what they've done from all different walks of life. And boy, have we got a very, very special guest for you today. I'm so excited about Jael Tanti being on our call today. And I just want to read you a little bit about her bio and just where she's come from. I just want to tell you about this because one of the myths is about people are born successful. They're not. You earn this. And listen to this. Jael was born in a little farm in the wilderness in Nicaragua, a pristine place without roads, electricity, or running water. Her dream of a far, far away land began when she was 5 years old. She knew then in her heart that somehow she was displaced and was determined that one day she would make her dreams come true. That's at 5. At the age of 15, she began her quest for a better life when, at the start of the Nicaraguan Civil War, she left the country with the equivalent of $50 in her pocket and only the clothes she had in a little suitcase. She then moved to Costa Rica, where she worked during the day and attended high school at night. Wow. At the age of 19, she seized the moment again and moved to Canada, where she had 2 children and later met her soulmate, James, to whom she'd been married for 24 years and counting. And they embarked on a business journey together. Her thirst for improvement, her thirst for opportunity and leadership inspired her husband to move 3 times, her and her husband to move 3 times in search of the next big deal, relocating. Now, Jael's motto is, "We are not our circumstances. We all have God-given talents to change." She's a go-getter and lives by the concept of living life in a state of constant and never-ending improvements. Jael is a risk taker, and I know that for a fact. And she believes in taking risks often. Her unwavering faith in God and herself has gotten her where she is today. She believes in her heart that everyone was created to the image and likeness of God. Therefore, we're all creators and we can all create a life of abundance when you set your mind on it. Jael knows this. She knows that ambition, focus, and perseverance in pursuit to our dreams, that anything is truly possible. So with that said, I want to welcome Jael Tanti to our show. Jael, welcome. How are you today?
Thank you, Ayo. I'm super excited to be here. The truth is, I couldn't sleep last night thinking about this, but that's okay. That's not uncommon for me. I'm a night owl sometimes. So, but thank you so much for inviting me here. I'm like really looking forward to this today.
Great, and we're loving the background and your scenery. I think we're losing you a little bit. If you just move to your left, that's it. We've got you there. Great place, and I know you've got a lovely home there. So look, let's just jump straight to Jael. So looking at your journey from Nicaragua to where you are today, and I know how successful you are and your multiple homes and the lifestyle you have, but from you're born into an area where no electricity, no water, from that background to where you are. Tell us a little bit about your childhood and upbringing, please.
Thank you, Ayo. I love to share that. One of the things is I remember as a child when we moved from the farm to the nearby town so we can go to school. I remember sitting in this, what it seemed to me through the eyes of a child, a big yard, and I used to think about it, and I used to look at the sun, and I'm thinking, I don't belong here. I want to leave here. One day I'm going to live in a land far, far away. I'll be gone, and it's, I remember it. It's
Yeah,
touching, actually.
yeah. Well,
Um,
can I just say, just jumping in there, and I know it's emotional because I think that we all in our childhood get inspirations of greatness, our future. And then what happens is a lot of people lose that. You didn't lose it. That fire was lit that day, but you didn't lose that fire. Do you find that happens to people?
well, you know what? I think everybody has the ability to make choices in life, and no, I don't know if it happens to people. It's everybody has to come up to at some point in their lives that we are responsible for everything that happens to us. In a way, we are the ones in control. We're the ones in charge, and I truly believe that all of us were given that opportunity. And because so many people have been programmed to fail instead of succeed, it's all over. So if we don't really take charge of our own mind and our own selves, it, it's difficult to say that everybody has this, but I believe that everybody do have the ability to do it.
So from that moment at 5, you began to think. So where did you go from there mentally? I mean, what happened?
Mentally, I was very as a child, I was very outgoing. I always dreamed of better. I was the first person to be in front of people, singing, dancing, whatever people asked me, poetry. It, it's something that I always love creativity. To me, creation begins at any time in our lives. And so from that moment on, my parents, they divorced, and my mom moved again when we were, I think I might have been about 14 years old. I was going to school, and like I said, the war came in, and actually that was before even the war. And what made me realize that still on that dream of I need to get out of here, I need to get out of here, um, I decided to maybe attract in my own mind. I was attracting everything that I wanted to be in my possession. And so I believe that you can create at any time. It's the same thing that I go back to.
So when you so at 15 years old now, you began your quest for a better life, and you then decided you obviously your parents got divorced, so that must have been traumatic as well that happening. When did you know what you wanted to do in life? When did you know this? Hey, this is what I want to do in life. Did you have clarity, or did you just knew you just wanted to change?
Well, actually, Ayo, thank you for asking that question, because one of the things is when I was like a little kid, my mom used to send me to buy then for errands to this place every Sunday to go buy uh, this delicacy meat for breakfast. And I would see this lady with this apron full of cash. You pay her, and you had all this. She had all this cash in her apron. And then when my sisters and I and my brothers got together, we always asked, "Hey, what do you want to do when you grow up?" And I would always say, "I want to be a businesswoman." And so mentors are really important. Sometimes you see things even as a child, and you don't realize that all of these little things are almost like subliminal messages into our own brain, and you start looking at things around you. It's
I,
it's
I, could, I
it's
can
incredible.
relate to that. It's so important, and you get those messages, but the challenge, I think, is in society, you get told to stop dreaming. Just keep go. I remember being told, just go get a job in a factory, that's all you're going to do. Stop all this high thinking. But you got a mentor. You mentioned the word mentor. How important is it to have a mentor?
It's I think it's one of the most important things in life is to find someone who you admire, that you appreciate, or I think admiration is one of the biggest things, because I admire these people how they were working so hard. And every Sunday, I mean, I'm sure that they got up really early, because I went there like at 6 o'clock in the morning. So they might have been making these chicharrones, whatever they were making, super early. So I figure at that age too, not only mentoring, looking at other people that are doing something that in your mind is success, and then you find a way to get yourself there. So
So
I
I,
never been shy about trying different things, and the biggest challenge is sometimes we're told what to do, or people try to program us in a way by the way they speak. And if we don't put guards in the mind of our own mind, we'll let all these people come in into ourselves, and they push our light down. But
They do. They
if you
do.
focus and keep your mind open, see these subtle messages. So mentors alive or gone by.
Name me a couple of your mentors you had. So you had that lady, obviously, at the early age, that businesswoman. I want to be a businesswoman. And as your career has gone, name me a couple of your mentors that if you don't mind sharing with us.
One of the people that transformed a little bit of my life was Dr. Dwayne Dyer. It helped me a lot with the thinking. Then Tony Robbins was a huge giant.
Did you worked with Tony Robbins, didn't you, for a while?
I did for 2 years.
Wow.
I was doing this digital delivery of UPW, Unleash the Power Within, and I learned a lot. It didn't pay off.
You had the opportunity to work with the great Tony Robbins. So just give us what was one of the main things you got from that experience?
I think it was changing your mindset. That was the most important thing that I learned. Somebody had given me the tapes in 1994, something like that, had given me the Tony Robbins tapes. And believe me, the day that I listened to that one, the first CD, and he says, if you're listening to these tapes, you're like me, and we must be kindred souls, and I hope one day we meet. I never forget that moment. I say, I will meet this guy. I will meet this guy. I just knew it in my heart that I will meet this guy. And I never forget, one time we were flying to New York on my 40th birthday, out of Orange County, and I see a giant poster of Tony Robbins coming to town, and I went like, oh my God. I said to James, we have to go. I need to go. In fact, I'm gonna call right now, and we're going to that event. And since then on, I went to the Mastery University, and I started investing in me. I started investing in my own self.
Jael, how important is personal development then, do you think? How important is that?
It's a must. It's a must because it takes us out of that shell. As you know, we were all born geniuses. We were all born whatever it is that we want to be. We were born winners. But like you said before, a lot of times that from 1st to 5 years old, that's when, we set our values. And then when you go to school, you get programmed. You go to work, you get programmed. You're around your friends, you get programmed. And so all these people, bombarding your brain, it puts you kind of on a shell that way you cannot move. But doing personal development is the most important because you break out of that shell, and all of a sudden you start to shine. The you within, that person that you were born to be, the one that you choose to be, not what other people think that you should be.
And that's so important because I know I won't be where I am. You know my story, going from sleeping on a French chair to where I am today. And I go, it's personal development. That's your breakthrough. That's why we're doing these podcasts, because what we as successful people want to, we want to reach back out to our audience, to everybody, and say, hey, come join us. But you have to commit to that personal development. Don't spend all your time on social media. I mean, the social media where you're studying and learning, and the social media where you're just really wasting time and you're not improving as a person. So just moving on from there, what did you have to change as a person? What were the things you had to change? Because you're coming with that baggage, and now you've got to change. You obviously work with Tony, but what were the things you had to change about you as a person to move you into that role of becoming successful?
Letting go of the victimhood, letting go blaming my parents, letting go blaming the people who hurt me as a child, letting go all the negativity. And I did that through another mentor, Louise Hayes.
Oh, One of my favorite.
Uh, This woman basically put me and you know what? That's the whole thing. People need to read the books. People need to like really integrate what they're learning. And I remember, when I was doing this process with her, it's through a tape, obviously, again, and actually even through a book. And, you put all these people on the stage. It is almost like a ho'oponopono where you start forgiving the people, but you're forgiving them for you.
Yeah,
So
I got that. I got that. Yeah, no, let go. Let it go. Let it go. I mean, one of the only few books I have by the side of my bed, and I'm not a reader because I have ADD, so I struggle with that. But I do have this book. Is the Louis Hay You Can Heal Your Life. I mean, it's an amazing
that's
book.
one that I read.
That's the book.
That's,
That I
that's
mean,
the book.
that had a big impact on me.
Me
And
too.
and but you said something very important there, Jael, and you have to get out of that victim mentality, isn't it? I mean, that is so key. Stop blaming people and blaming everybody. And I didn't go to the right school, and I happy. Well, my parents didn't do this for me, and all that stuff. What advice would you give to somebody who's still caught up in that victim world and they're blaming the world for where they are today? What advice would you give them?
Gratitude. Start start really being in a place of gratitude. We can be ungrateful for all the things that happen to us and the many things. The thing is, when you start appreciating everything, because I realize how rich and abundant we are, no matter what. I think about, coming from a place of no roads, no electricity, no running water, nearly died during the birth, and to where I am today. We have roads everywhere, we have clean air, kind of, but we have so much today. We got running water, we got electricity, we got cars, we got motorcycles, we got, who knows? We're gonna have flyways, you know. Think about all we have. So when people start focusing on what they do have, and even the traits that they have, I know what I have, I know what I am. So we start looking at like, what is it that I'm made of, that I don't have to blame anyone else, that I can maybe improve. Every single time you got to look at how to become a better person than the day before without giving the responsibility of you to someone else.
Absolutely. And again, I mean, I wake up every morning, and one of the first things do I give thanks to God, whatever your religion is, but I give thanks to God because, hey, another day, because not everybody made it through last night, we've got to remember that and be grateful for what you have. My mom always used to say this to me, says, and she, when I remember moaning as a kid, she goes, look, no matter how bad your situation is, there are always people worse off than you. So you've got to have that gratitude and say, hey, moving on. And I'm a great believer of the serenity prayer, that God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. And stress comes from people trying to change all the stuff they can't change. You can't change the past, and you can't change your parents, and you can't change this, and you're not going to change your school. You got to change you, isn't it? You are the person you've got to change.
The
And
only one.
and talking about you, one of the things that you're very good at, Jael, and all the years I've known you, you keep reinventing yourself. You're so creative. I mean, what's the importance of this reinventing yourself and being creative? Why do you do it?
Because there's a better version of myself still out there. There is, I can always be better. I cannot change another person. I can only change myself. So in the little things that I can change, my surroundings, the people that I choose to be with or that I choose for them to be in my life. I'm a very private person, believe it or not, even though sometimes I'm on Facebook having fun. Um, but in a way, I don't bring a lot of people to my home because I don't want the negativity of other people. And so I truly have guards in my mind, even when I'm listening to a conversation or the way that people say words and language patterns, because even our own selves are constantly um, almost like self-programming. So language is very important in our own life. So I create because that's who I am. I'm a creator. I truly believe that we were created to the image and likeness of God, and that we're all abundant, and we can create even little things like here in the yard. It used to be like a big empty thing. I came here, there was just grass, and I'm thinking, I don't need the grass. I'm going to create a garden. I see this beautiful like piece of real estate. I'm thinking it needs flowers. It needs this. It's like I want to create my own surrounding wherever I am. It doesn't matter. And I think that everybody can create even on their own selves. So creativity is very important, and we have to find it. We don't have to be a Picasso, in order, or a super artist or somebody from Hollywood, but we can create whatever it is that we want. You just have to
Absolutely.
into it.
Well,
I love.
that's sorry. Yeah, no, absolutely, because it's one of the things I do talk about in my book. One of my own, uh, you know, um, what I say. One of my things about life is about evolving to be the best you can be. But you've got to remember, you never get there because every time you evolve into something else, you realize, hey, I could do more. Then you do that, then you realize I can do more. So the key is to have a lot of fun doing it on the way, and enjoy the journey. Enjoy that journey of evolving. But it's important to evolve as a person. Otherwise, you look in the mirror. You're born. I said most people are born. They live life till about 20, 21. Then they kind of mentally die, but we don't bury them till they're 85 because they just give up and just be in the same place. And I'm not knocking anybody there. That's what society does. Society is about controlling you and keeping you in a box. And what we're talking about here is letting you out of the box and giving you some tools that you can use to get out of the box. So moving on to tools, what tips, what advice would you give to somebody just starting out, maybe scared of getting into business, getting into direct sales, the industry we're in, what advice would you give to somebody starting out?
Find a product or a service that you can stand behind, that you love, that even if you didn't get paid for, that you would do it. Something that you're passionate about, something that you believe. Find a cause, something that becomes something so keen to you that you want the whole world to know about it. And that's one of the reasons why I joined the company that I did, because I believe in the product. I believe in the opportunity. I believe what they stand. I believe in the company. I believe in the people that are running the company. And so you have to find something for you. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a product, it could be a service, helping people. It doesn't matter what is. Sometimes people go, what is your call? You know what? We have different calls, and we have ways of helping people in different ways. Whether through service, helping somebody go buy groceries to the store, or whether you're showing somebody how to make money, or what you're doing here today, Ayo, it's giving people hope. It's find something that you can be a contributor, for, and that you're in love, and that you love it, and you feel great about sharing it with others, and that alone will help you find your way to success, your way to where it is that you want to go. But you have to calibrate by taking risks. You have to go, and if you say, hey, here's a great product, somebody showed it to you, and then you go, okay, let me go check it out. Give yourself some time. Don't just go there to give up. Go there to win. Go there to be the best that you can be. Give yourself completely to that particular product or service, or whatever it is that you believe in. Career. Just give yourself.
They say if you find if you enjoy what you do, then you never work another day in your life. And I'm so blessed. And you've just said some key important things. So let's just rephrase that. So first thing you need to do is people. You got to be careful about when you join a business. You need to make sure you respect the people, you like the people, you trust the people, because you're going to be interacting with them. If you don't, then that job is not going to be one of the best jobs you're going to have. You might do it for the money for a short time, but make sure the people are right. Find a product, find a business that ticks your box, that gets you excited. The reason I got involved in Salamaster, my story, I was already successful, but when I saw the product and I saw the opportunity and I saw how we could make a difference in people's lives, and I thought I could be part of that and leave a legacy behind, I went, wow, great. And you've got to believe in what you're doing, isn't it? Find something that gets you excited, that you do anyway, even if they didn't pay you. And the fact they pay you is an extra bonus, isn't it? They pay you. And we get paid, yeah, we get paid very well. And what I've noticed is once you get excellent, once you get excellent at something, that's when you begin to get the big success. When you're good at something, isn't it, Jael? I mean, how do you feel about that quote? When you're good at something, you kind of get good results. But when you get excellent at something, it just takes your whole income level and success level to another point. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And as we were talking earlier, there's always something better out there. That's the reason why we move and we go into different stages in our lives, because we know that there's a better version of whatever it is that you have right now. It's not that a person is greedy, is that you're looking for the very next success. And the only way that it happens, like I said, is taking those little risks, jump in, but jump in for something that you believe in. I took a big risk in starting to invest in the stocks. I didn't know anything. I could have lost it all. But if I didn't take a risk, and what was my passion? My passion was to multiply my money, multiply my income, let the money work for me. Since my husband and I have made a lot of money, but a lot of times you spend it, you buy a house, you buy a car, you buy jewelry, you buy this, you buy that. But that's the foolish way to do things. But you got to think, okay, I got to invest my money. And so that was one of the things that also helped out for me. It's like I took the risk to start investing my money, and now I've seen it triple from as little as 10 years.
Yeah, amazing.
You always find the better, where's the better? Because really people think that, okay, you come here, like you said, some people only live to 21. But I remember Tony saying, somebody should have told us the day that we were born that we're dying, because it's true. And if you're not working on yourself all the time, being the best version of yourself, it's kind of like the land of the dying, not the land of the living.
well, I know that is, I mean, and I think if somebody, and another thing to add to that is, hey, this is not a dress rehearsal. This life is not a dress rehearsal. We're not practicing.
It's the real deal.
This is it. So what are you going to do with it? And what's the legacy you're going to leave behind? And that's why don't stay in a box. And one thing I always say, Jael, I says, look, when we die, they're going to put us in a box. And we are going to stay in that box for the rest of eternity. So why do you want to live in the box now? Do that later when that time comes. Right now, it's time to step out of your comfort zone. Try and stretch yourself. Get it, try and look there's so many opportunities out there you can do. But remember what Jael said. One of the most important things you need to do is you need to start developing you. You need to focus on you. That's why it's important. You listen to this podcast, not just once, but 2 or 3 times, because there's so many nuggets we've got today. And Jael, I just want to move on here. Women in business, what advice would you give to women in business?
Work harder on yourself than anything else, and you see how you will transform. And the next thing is, you have to be selfish, in order to be selfless.
Say that again. You've got to be selfish.
No, and you got to be selfish in order to be selfless. Because when you work hard on yourself, a lot of people think you're being selfish. You don't want to give yourself to them. You don't want to go out to the bars. I remember people say, "Oh, you don't like to go out to disco with us. You don't like to hang out." I needed to work on myself first. It's the same thing when I met my soulmate, James. I had to work on myself first to find the version of myself so I can project it into a guy out there that will be thinking in the same parity as me. So work harder on yourself. Don't get stuck. Get rid of the being stuck. Stop being stuck in the moment. Never let, whether it be stuck in a job or stuck in a marriage, if it's not serving you, if you're not absolutely statically happy, like 80% of the time at least, get out. You have to let it go. So become selfish in order to be selfless. Work harder on yourself than you do on anything in your life.
And what would you say though to a woman that says, well, I've got the kids, I've got this, I've got all sorts of things, I got to look after my husband, I've got a job, and I would like to do something, but I just haven't got the time.
So it's not a matter whether you can or cannot. It's a matter of whether you want to or not. If you want to, you'll find a way. I took a big risk. I was married before. I had children, but I knew that that wasn't my soulmate. And you know what? I felt bad. I felt bad because I called a divorce. I felt so bad because here I was going to turn into a single woman, a single mom with two little kids. And you know what? That didn't stop me for one reason and one reason only. I was unhappy and my children were unhappy. He was unhappy. I was not meant to be with that person for the rest of my life. I knew that. I knew that that person was going to be only the father of my children, and that was the extent of it. That's why I never say my ex-husband. I don't own anyone. He is the father of my children. So, yeah, I'm not telling you to go out there and get a divorce.
No, that's not what we say.
No, we want you to be happy. I want you to work as much as you can. But if you are unhappy, stop being stuck. Get out of that nasty job that you hate going every morning. Get out of that nasty relationship if it doesn't serve you. Because believe me, no matter what is the worst case scenario? The only worst case scenario to me, I'm going to die. But I am a survivor. And so are you.
So
everyone out there is a survivor. If you can bear children, you are a champion already.
absolutely, I'm a mommy's boy. My mom, she passed away, but hey, she taught me some great values, and she went to so much hardship to look after the children. I think just being a parent, being a mom is one of the greatest jobs and greatest roles, everything. But I will say, don't just be a mom. Don't. There's more to you than just being a mom. I mean, for some people that's okay, but if you've got to do the thing. So, what other tip would you give to the women out there to champion them to go out and really lead and be successful?
Go out there, as I said earlier, work something. The most important thing is until you realize that what you want for yourself. And it's like, sometimes we say, you know, this is my why. But I realize it's not my why, it's my because. I want to do this because, I want to provide better life for my children. So what is your because in a way? Choose what is it that you want to do. What are you passionate about? And throw your heart over the fence and follow it. It's there's no secret out there, and there's no tip that I can give you out there other than find what it is that you really truly want and capitalize on it. Doesn't matter whether it be gardening, whether it be cleaning houses, whether it be selling cookware, uh, doesn't matter. Find something, but you have to know why you want to do it and do it. The
And
easiest.
and Jael, there, sorry for butting in there, but you know, that advice, by the way, that I've asked for women because I'm a great believer. We want to empower everybody, and we want more business women, more successful people out there. But it applies to men just the same. You know, if you're not happy, you know, happiness is so important in your life that you take. And what I found is unhappiness comes from when you have no control in your life. When you're not in control of your life, you're not in control of your situation, you get unhappy. And when you're in control, you're happy. It's just like when I see people who have car sicknesses, but they only have the car sickness when they're a passenger because they're not in control. When they drive, they're okay. But as soon as they become a passenger, they go like, oh my God, I'm not in control. And they have all sorts of issues. So get control of your happiness is important, So Jael, moving on from there, we're going to bring this, we're bringing this to the end. If you had to pick 2 tips for success that you would want to share with the audience, what would that be?
Number 1, marry the right person that has the same ambitions as you, that has the same passions, even though you might be different and stuff, marry the right person, be with the right person. Sometimes the person who keep us down is actually our own partners. So be with the person that is willing to go with you when 100 people are trying to hold you back. So be with that one person that really inspires you and wants you to do better. And number 2, just find the you within, find your voice, find your way. That's no matter what. Take risk all the time. Little risk, calculated risk. If I do this, I might get this. Anticipate what's happening in your life, what's not perfect yet, and start working on it, on improving.
Yeah. You know, and we've said is that one of the truths about success is not one big win. It's thousands and thousands of little wins along the way that gets to that one big house that you might end up with. But it didn't, you know, it started with thousands of little successes. So every time you get a little win, hey, celebrate it. You know, a lot of times I see people, they get a little win, but they say that's not good enough. But what you're talking about there, Jael, is hey, when you celebrate that success every time along the way, and just keep setting out and take those little risks one step at a time. The journey of 1,000 steps begins with the first step, but you've got to keep walking. You can't slow down. You can't stop. So Jael, just again, looking back, I mean, you're successful. You're living the life. You're in the, you know, most people would want to be in LA, in Los Angeles. You've got homes in other locations. I know you show me beautiful by the beach. Looking back on your life, what has been your greatest satisfaction, would you say, so far?
That I was able to break through the garbage bag, break through all the things that were holding me back. And one of the things that were holding me back is I had a lot of resentment, and I had to let go, because I believe that we have to live life without regrets. And I love that. Honestly, that's one of my biggest satisfactions. It's like living life without regrets. I'm very satisfied where I am today. I think it's most important. It was letting go of that victimhood. That is my biggest satisfaction, and taking charge of my own life, and, you know, take credit, but also take credit and take the responsibility that I put up on myself. That,
Okay.
that's one of my biggest satisfactions.
Wow, thanks for sharing that. And you know, and I know you've spoken from the heart there. So from the heart, think to get that breakthrough, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of hard work, there's a lot of sacrifices, there's a lot of suffering. Jael, was it worth it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Look where I am today. I'm creating the Garden of Eden.
And talking about the gardening and everything, I know it was 7 o'clock in the morning in LA. But you got up and you said, I remember when we were trying to get this organized. You get, no problem. I'm up at 6. I've got to feed the chickens. Please tell me what's going on with the chickens, Jael. What's going on?
I think I love chickens, so I have chickens all over the house. The fake chickens, of course, because I think of chickens, the vibrancy. I think of the chickens. It's like when they crow. It's like, I'm awake. I'm ready to take on the world. And so I've always loved chickens. And James, I asked him for chicken. I begged him for chickens, and he wouldn't let me have chickens. So I give thanks for the COVID because I was sick and tired of asking for permission. So I thought I'll just ask for forgiveness instead. And one day I ordered this. I was on eBay looking at chickens and fancy chickens. I love fancy chickens. And so I go, oh, okay, I'm going to order some chickens on eBay. And little did I realize there was a box with a bunch of eggs wrapped up on newspaper because this lady was talking. She was like describing this fancy, beautiful, my lovelies. And so I ordered. I figure I'm ordering live chickens. And I go, shit, I got like 8 eggs. I said to my daughter, she's a veterinarian, and she goes, well, Mom, you can always get an incubator. So she ordered the incubator. What do I do? What if James finds the chickens, the eggs, and he eats them? I said, I'm going to hide them on the fridge outside. He won't see them. And so meanwhile, Sheena orders an incubator. 2 incubators shows up. And then I opened the box and I left them at the entrance by the house. And James walks by there every day, every time that he goes to the garage. And he goes, and by the way, Easter was coming. And he goes, why did you buy that machine to boil eggs? He goes, when you can use the cookware. And I said, Easter is coming. I said, this is a project that I'm doing. And so it took 23 days. We hatched the chickens. I didn't know what the hell was going on. And James didn't know what the heck was going on. And he goes like, what? You having chickens? I said, I got chickens. And they were all hiding in my office. And so he couldn't say anything. And now I already have them. And they're cute little silky chickens that look like little rabbits. And they're fluffy. And they got like a little, big thing of hair here. They're like disco chickens, honestly. They're amazing. And I love them. They keep me busy. I learn a lot from them. I've been learning to get up early. And
what did you learn from a chicken? What did you learn from a chicken? When you say you learned from a chicken, what did you learn from a chicken?
Is that they're alive. That they're like I said, when they crow, it's like, I'm ready to take on the world. It's like, I'm awake, I'm alive. What do I do? What else? Okay, what's around here? They're always searching, they're always looking, they're always scratching. It's like, it's cute, and getting up early in the morning, which I love getting up early in the morning, and I had lost that zest. So they brought my zest back to life, from the whole COVID thing and being indoors. I kind of got a little bit depressed, and I'm thinking, I need something to do. I need a hobby. I don't want to go out and do cooking shows and Salamaster and bust my butt over there. I've already done that for 25 years. And I was like, it's time for me, and I want something for me. So I think that it's a therapy for me. It's just being able to give something back.
Well, you've just confirmed one of the truths you talked about today, which is make sure you're in the right relationship, because the chickens have proved that you're in the right relationship with James, because he's accepted that. And wow, thank you. Look, thank you. Any last comments you want to make before we close out?
Well, remember one thing. One thing I do want to say is, remember I said about gratitude, getting up every morning with gratitude. Number one thing is have an unwavering faith in God and the same unwavering faith in yourself. Don't cut yourself short. Go out there and make it happen. I know that you can. I was able to do it, and I'm having fun doing it, and just keep on improving out there. I know that there's a better version of you, whether you're a guy or mom or a girl or a woman. There's always there's a beautiful person inside of you. Just find it, crack it open. You know, if you're gonna crack anything, crack this heart open and just be vulnerable sometimes and be willing to cry and be willing to let go. God bless you, and God bless us all.
Oh, thank you so much, Jael. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, what an amazing few minutes we've had there. Not enough with Jael Tanti, a fantastic job. Our first female speaker, by the way. So thank you very much. And look, Jael, so thank you for being on the call today. And we've learned a lot. And that is so important, that finding the better you. There's another version of you, the better version of you. It's in you. What are you going to do? You don't just settle for who you are today. Work on who you can be tomorrow. That is just so, so important. And that's what the truth about success is. It's just to learn from successful people, gone through all those hardships, that, hey, we're not different to you. We might be ahead of you. You've heard me say this before. Nobody is better than you. There are people ahead of you, but they're not better than you. Let's take the chicken situation there. Jael is ahead of me with the chickens. I was brought up in Nigeria with the chickens, and I didn't have that perspective of the chickens. But she's ahead. She's taking the time, the incubator, so she's ahead. So if you want to start, you can't put yourself in the same position because she's ahead. So nobody's better than you. They're just ahead of you. I just want to finish with this last thing, because a lot of what we've talked about today is about working and focusing on you. A ship at sea does not sink because of all the water around it. It doesn't sink because of in fact, it floats in all the water around it. The only time the ship sinks is when the ship lets water into the ship. So you see, your mind, your brain, that's the ship, guys. That's the ship. God has given you this magnificent ship to sail across any of the seas, because the world out there is the sea. Your mind is the ship. And the only time this ship doesn't perform is when you let that water, when you let that negativity in there. Don't let that happen to you. It's time, if you've got some holes and you've let some water in, it's time to seal those holes up, plug them up, plug all the holes, and then float your ship back into sea, because the world is full of possibilities and anything is truly possible. The truth about success. We are here committed to help you. We've got successful entrepreneurs here giving you their truths about success, because we want more successful. Think about the sea and think about how much water there is in the sea. And if you took a cup of water out of the sea, that would have no impact on the sea. There is so much room for more successful people in this world, because every time you create one successful person, that person creates other opportunities for so many people in the organization, not to even mention the benefits the family have. So we want to thank you for being on here. I want to thank Jael Tanti again for speaking from the heart. And, James and Jael have been one of my people I looked up to when I first joined and got into the business. They have been great role models of our business, of success, of opportunity. Find a mentor, find somebody you like. They don't even need to know they don't even need to know that they're mentoring you. But just find them, copy them, study them, but most importantly, believe in you and ask yourself this question: why not you? Why not me? Why not me? You were born to win. Thank you.